So here we're going to talk about informative reporting verbs. And informative reporting verbs are used to present ideas or claims from the author or from yourself. And you're going to use them in all of your assignments whenever you need to report something an author said or even something you want to say, particularly when you don't want to say it as a fact or too strongly. Reporting verbs are different grammatically than descriptive reporting verbs. Reporting verbs must take a that clause. There are more reporting verbs, but you have to be able to choose a reporting verb or a verb that takes a that clause. One of the difficulties with reporting verbs is they have a lot more uses than descriptive verbs, so they're more difficult to decide upon when you want to choose which is the appropriate one to use. So first thing we're going to talk about here is to present 5 criteria for determining whether you should use an informative verb and which informative reporting verb you should choose. So the first criteria is, does the sentence summarize the article, in which case you present a descriptive reporting verb, or does it present a claim or a fact or an idea, in which case you may present a informative reporting verb. The second criteria is whether or not the claim or idea is a fact or an opinion. If it's a fact, and a fact is something everyone agrees upon, then that's one type of reporting verb. It's an opinion, which means that people have different ideas about the same, or different ideas about the same thought, then it could be an opinion. If it's an opinion, the third criteria is it an argument, which means do people argue about it and have strongly different opinions, or is it simply the opinion of the author and not a fact? And we call that a belief. And if it's an argument or a belief, you want to express your own sense about whether you agree, disagree, or you might be ambivalent about the claim. So if you say, does the writer of the sentence agree with the claim or disagree with the claim, or maybe you can't tell, or maybe you don't have a strong opinion yourself. And then whether your opinion is a strong opinion, a weaker opinion, or a moderate opinion. So now I'm going to talk about the homework assignment and looking at informative reporting verbs. And I'm going to talk about 3 examples that we gave, and then after that you're going to finish it on your own and we'll discuss it more in class. So the first example is, number 1 is, she points out that political action has been and remains effective. And this is a little difficult one. It's an informative sentence, okay, because it's a complete idea. Political action has been and remains effective. You know exactly what she was thinking. Is it a fact or an opinion? And this is the part that's a little complicated, because obviously political action is effective is an opinion, but what the writer here wants to stress is this is what she in fact said. So in this case, it's a fact. That points out is a reporting verb that's used for a fact, and it means that it's a fact that this was pointed out. So if it's a fact, it's neither a belief or an argument, and you have to agree with it, and it has to be strong. Okay? So that's a little difficult. The second one is, he argues that the scale of the experiments is too strong and that it cuts off populations and communities from their proper spatial context. So again, argues is an informative reporting verb. You know exactly what the argument is. The scale of the experiment is too small. And so it takes a that clause. And here it's an opinion because it's an argument and that somebody must think that the scale is not too small. So it's an opinion, it's an argument. Now, it's not totally clear whether the writer agrees that the scale is too small. So here you would have to say don't know. And again, it's not so strong and it's not weak, it's moderate. So argue is often used when you have a kind of moderate opinion that you neither want to express that you agree or disagree with. So the third example says number 2, but it's actually 3, is this pattern suggests that most of the currently observed variation is due to changes and adoptions that occurred in the ancient history of the group. And so suggest is an informative reporting verb, and it takes a that clause. Now, suggest could be used as a descriptive reporting verb. You said this suggests a pattern, but here it takes a that clause, so it's informative. And it's an opinion that most of the currently observed variation is due to changes. That's somebody's opinion. It's not clear that it's an argument, so you have to assume that it's a belief or an opinion. And it's not clear whether the person agrees or disagrees, and it's a moderately expressed opinion. Now, most of the time, in fact, writers agree with the author, but you have to wait until another paragraph or another sentence to find out whether that's the case. But for now, you can say you're not sure about the level of agreement, and it's a moderate level of agreement. So continue working on some of these examples, and we'll discuss the rest of them in class.